Okay, so in the last lecture, we did your extreme values and saddle points of function fxy. So we did some of the theory related to how to find the extreme values and saddle points of a two variable function. So there we did some of the theorems that will help you to locate the extreme values, that where we can find the extreme values basically at critical points and boundary points. Critical points are those points where the partial derivative of function are equal to 0, simultaneously are equal to 0. That is, the partial derivative with respect to x and with respect to y. They should be simultaneously 0. Or one of the partial derivative or both the partial derivative, if are not defined at the given point, we say that point is critical point. So when we are locating the extreme values, then we will be looking for critical points and also the boundary points if they are given. So these are the things we did, and also we did some about the concept of saddle point, that if a given point is a critical point of function fxy, then it is not necessary that there will be a maximum minimum. However, there can also be a saddle point at the given point. So let us see now how to find these extreme values and saddle points by considering an example. Find all the local extreme values of function fxy is equal to x square plus 2xy. Okay, so in this question, you have been given a two variable function, and now you have to find the extreme values of this function. So theory says, whatever the theory we have done, it says extreme values of fxy exist at extreme values of fxy exist at either at the critical point, where partial derivatives are simultaneously 0, or one of the partial derivative or both are undefined, and secondly at the boundary points. If any boundary is given for the function, then it may be possible that at the boundary points your extreme values of the function exist. So let us start one by one. Since it is given that fxy is equal to your x square plus 2xy, since no boundary is given, so extreme values can exist at your critical point. This is the first question, so that's why I am writing this much of theory. Otherwise, we need not to write this much of theory. So extreme values can exist at critical points. Again, we see that the first partial derivative of f with respect to x is 2x plus 2y, and partial derivative with respect to y is 2x. These are the values of your partial derivative of x and with respect to y. Clearly you can see partial derivatives are defined for all x and y. So extreme values will exist. So clearly you can see the partial derivative exists. There is no point where they are undefined. So they will exist where your partial derivative of x and partial derivative of y are 0 simultaneously. So this is the point where we should look for the extreme values, where the partial derivatives are simultaneously 0, because boundary points, they are not given, and also the partial derivatives are not defined, or there is no point where they are not defined. So let us see, if you put f partial derivative with respect to x equals to 0, you get x equals to minus y, and when you put partial derivative y equals to 0, you get x equals to 0. So this implies y equals to 0 using 1. So the point is, or let me write it properly. So you get the point, so, or let it be, point is xy equals to 0, 0. So critical point that we have found is your 0, 0. So this is the critical point where function can have maximum minima. We are not sure, but still it is a point where we may look for the extreme value. Now to see, your one step is done, that you found the critical point. Now the second step, that whether this point is a maxima, minima, or saddle point. For that, we must go for the second order partial derivative, because we have to use then second order derivative theorem to find the extreme value. So we find the double derivative of f with respect to x, and that is your 2. Double derivative of f with respect to y, that is your 0, and partial derivative f first with respect to x, with respect to y, or first with respect to y and then with respect to x. So in that case, it is also your equals to 2. So these are the values of your second order partial derivative. Why we are calculating these? Because we need these for our second derivative theorem test or second derivative test for finding the extreme value. Now, here, first of all, let us see what the value of discriminant is, or Hessian, that is equals to fxx yy minus fxy whole square at, or first let me write what the value is actually. So this value comes out to be your f double partial derivative with respect to x is your 2, double derivative with respect to y is 0, fxy is your 2 ka whole square, and this gives you minus 4. So clearly here your discriminant is your less than 0. So point 0, 0, point 0, 0 is point 0, 0 is saddle point, because I told you earlier while we were doing the second derivative test that first of all we find the discriminant. When we switch to second order partial derivative, we find the discriminant at the given point, or let me write it here at 0, 0, because these are the points where we must be looking for the partial the value of discriminant, and discriminant is less than 0 at point 0, 0. So this is a saddle point since it is less than 0, so there is no scope of maximum minima. So for the function fxy is equals to x square plus your, it was your x square plus 2xy, you have only 0, 0 as the saddle point. There is no other point where it has a maxima or minima. So here I can show you the figure where you can see that how it is forming. Yes, so this is the graph for your y equals to x square plus 2xy. So clearly you can see here, here this is the curve like saddle, and here it is like this one. So the point 0, 0 will be somewhere here, and it will be the point of saddle point. Why? Because this shape is equivalent to the shape that we did for your saddle point. Remember that we did this shape for the saddle point? Yes, this is the shape we did for the saddle point. So this is the thing we were discussing when we were doing the saddle point. So this is the shape something like your saddle, like this one. If this point is the saddle point, then it is maxima for some points and minima also for the some points in the some domain. So similarly here for this function, this is just for geometrical representation. Otherwise mathematically we have seen 0, 0 is the saddle point. So here is the figure for the given function. Now, coming to your example 2, find all the local extreme values of function 6x square minus 2x cube plus 3y square plus 6xy. So this is a question where you have to find the all local extreme values of this function. Again, boundary is not given, so boundary points are excluded. We are left with critical points. So again, to see which of the critical points they are, that is, either we have to look for the partial derivative with respect to x and y simultaneously 0 or undefined. So for that we need to first find the partial derivative. So with respect to x, it is 2x minus 12x minus 6x square plus 6y. So this is the partial derivative with respect to x, and with respect to y, it is 6y plus 6x. So clearly you can see partial derivative exists for all x and y. So we must look for the extreme values at points where these partial derivatives are simultaneously 0. For undefined, there is no case. Why? Because they are defined for all x and y. So fx equals to 0 implies your 12x minus 6x square plus 6y equals to 0, so it is 1, and this implies your 6y plus 6x equals to 0, implies x is equals to minus y. So this is 2. So using these two equations, we got these two relations. Now put 2 in 1. You have your 12x minus 6x square and plus 6 minus x is equals to 0. You got your 6x minus 6x square equals to 0, 6x 1 minus x equals to 0, implies x equals to 0 and 1. So these are the values of x you are getting from these two partial derivatives equals to 0. So corresponding to x equals to 0, you got y equals to 0 since you have x equals to minus y, and corresponding to 1, you got y equals to minus 1. So the points, critical points you got are 0, 0 and 1 minus 1. So these are the 2 points. That you get after substituting both the partial derivatives equals to 0. So these are the probable candidates for where the extreme values we can look for. Let us start now that either these points are points of maxima or minima. So for that we must now switch to second order partial derivatives. So before that, we first find the partial derivative with respect to x, that is 12 minus 12x. With respect to y, this is your 6, and with respect to x and y, then that is again your 6. Yes. So these are the values you get when you take the second order partial derivative of your f with respect to x, y. Okay. Now again, your discriminant is equal to, let me find it, this is your 6 minus 6 whole square. So this gives you 36 minus 72x. Yes. So this is the discriminant. So the things that we need to check whether the 2 points that we have found are your maxima, minima or saddle point, the things we need are now have been calculated. Now let us check point by point. That is, let us first consider 0, 0, that whether it is a maxima or a minima, point of maxima or minima. So first of all, fxx or discriminant at 0 0 is equals to, at 0 0 equals to 36 greater than 0. So it is, the value of discriminant is positive, so it can be a point of maximum or minimum. And for that, we need to look at the value of f double derivative with respect to x at point 0 0, and that is your 12, that is again greater than 0. So you put value here, you get 12. So in this case you can see discriminant is 0, so we must be getting your maximum minima, and again the second order partial derivative with respect to x is greater than 0 at 0 0. Even you can find it using second order partial derivative with respect to y, and we can see it is greater than 0. So again 0 0 is a point of it is a point of local minima. So 0 0 is point of local minima. It is a point of your local minima, 0 0. Okay, now we come to the point 1 comma minus 1. We consider the point 1 comma minus 1. Again, discriminant at 1 minus 1 is equals to 36 minus 72, and it is your minus 36, that is again less than 0. So clearly you can see here discriminant is 0. So 1 minus 1 is a saddle point, So now we have found that for the given function, the fxy, you got two critical points, and one of the critical point 0 0 is a point of local minima, and other is a point of other is a point that is saddle point. So this completes the result for the given question. And geometrically, if we want to look how the function looks like, so here it is the function. So basically here this shows a figure for a function, although from this figure it is not very clear that 0 0, because I haven't drawn the points exactly here for the maxima and saddle point, but you can get an idea that if this figure is, so it has some saddle-like shape, and that exactly point, the saddle point is your 1 minus 1, and 0 0 is a point of local minima. It is somewhere here in the origin, so that is the point of local minima. So mathematically we have found that for this figure you have your 1 minus 1 as a saddle point and 0 0 as your local minima. Okay. Next we come to the last topic of this unit, that is your absolute maxima and absolute minima on closed and bounded region. Remember that in the previous question we did extreme values. We were finding the extreme values of function fxy, but there was no boundary given for the function fxy where it is defined, or say it was simply given the function fxy. No boundary of fxy was given. However, now in these questions there you will be given some boundary. Here you now need to find the absolute maxima and minima, and boundary, that is, now he is putting conditions that boundary or region will be closed and bounded. So closed region, we have done it in the beginning. The region, it is something like closed interval, open interval. Region in xy plane is said to be closed if it not only contains its interior points but also the boundary points. Okay, so just to revise, just a review, contain both boundary and interior points of the region. That is a closed region. For an example, x square or plus y square less than equal to 1. So it also contains the boundary and your interior point. Bounded region, bounded region. For bounded region, let me give you proper definition of the bounded region. A proper definition, let me write it here so that you can understand it properly. A region in a plane, is said to be bounded if it lies inside a disk of fixed radius that is, if there exists at least one circular disk or circular disk, one and the same thing, of fixed radius that encloses the whole given region. Okay, so it is said to be bonded if there exists at least one circular disk of fixed radius that encloses the whole given region. Means the region is bonded if I can enclose it in some circular disk of fixed radius. And if it is not bonded, that is, if it is not can't be enclosed by some circular disk of fixed radius, we call it unbounded. Unbounded means it can't be. That region does not be contained in some circular disk of fixed radius. So now let us see how to find the absolute maximum and minimum when some boundary or region is given on which function fxy. Here we have to find its extreme value on that particular region. Example 1. So we have a strategy for finding the absolute maximum minima of our closed and bounded region. So I will be, okay, let me just write the strategy first. Strategy to find extreme value, especially absolute values. I should say here extreme, not absolute, because we are now looking for absolute values on some closed and bounded region. Okay, first of all, you must list all the interior points of region R, where F may have local maxima, minima. Basically, first of all, since region R have two portions, one is its boundary, other is interior region. So first of all, we target the interior of the region and look for the interior points of the region where F may have local maximum, minima. So basically, we are looking for the critical points. Why? Because critical points are the interior points where you can have the probability that there can be maximum, minimum. So once it is done, evaluate F at these points. Now, secondly, list all the boundary points. Of R. R means your region where F has local maxima, minima, and evaluate F at these points. So secondly, we target the boundary points of the given region. First we target the interior of the region, we look for the interior point where we can have maximum minimum, and then we target the boundary points or the boundary of the given function or region, and then finally look through the list for maximum and minimum values of fxy. These will be, that is, out of the given local maximum and minimum. Now look for the maximum value the function is attaining and the minimum value function is attaining, and these will be your absolute maxima and minima of f on a region R. So these will be now again. So first we locate for the interior points, we look for the boundary points, find the value function there, and then we draw the list that these are the points, and then find the value of function at that point and see where the function is getting maximum value and where it is getting minimum value. Okay, so how we do the questions of these? Let us try this by an example. Find the absolute maximum and minimum value of the function on given domain fxy is equal to x square plus y square on triangular plate bounded by lines x equals to 0, y equals to 0, y plus 2x is equal to 2. Yes. So for this example, what is saying now, same as we did the question, function is given, but now you have to find the extreme values for particular region in the xy plane. Earlier the boundary was not there. Region in the xy plane was whole xy region, whole xy plane. Okay, so you can't have boundary there. Since the plane or the region is whole xy plane, so you can't have boundary there. But now he is restricting your region to some boundary. That is, here in this case, your boundary or the region about which you have to find the maximum minima is given. So this is your y equals to 0 line, this is your x equals to 0 line, and y plus 2x equals to 2. At x equals to 0, y is equals to 2, y is equals to 2, and at x equals y equals to 0, x equals to 1. So this is the line, this one. Okay. So this is the region. This is the region. This is the region. So this region, basically you must know that it is in xy plane. Okay, this region is in xy plane. This is x0, y0, and this line is your y plus 2x is equal to 2. So now the surface is on 3D. That is, if I draw this as your z-axis, that is coming out of the plane, and surface is the 3D, then the part of the surface that is under or above this your triangular plate. Triangular plate is in xy plane. Surface is in 3D. So the portion of the surface that is above this triangular plate, there we have to find the extreme values of the given function. So if I just here look at the figure, yes. Yes, so here is the graph of your x square plus y square. So here is the graph of your x square y square, and if I say this is your x-axis, so this is your y-axis. So in this case, so if I have this plane, if you are looking here, this is a plane. So in this plane, that triangular plate is lying. In this plane, say this is a possible xy plane. Then in this plane, your triangular plate is lying. The region is given in x plane. So above this region, whatever the portion of surface comes under, there we have to find the maximum minima, that the portion that is above that triangular plate, coming under that triangular plate of the given function fxy surface, there we have to find the extreme values, local maxima, minima, or any other point. So let us see how we proceed. So since we know that extreme values of fxy exist at interior points of a region R represent the region, this dotted region which is given in the question, and secondly the boundary points of the region, Let me write this as O, this is A, this is B. This point is your 1, 0, this is your 0, 2, yes, this is 0, 2, and this is your 0, 0, yes. So this is what we say we have marked all the points on the region. So these are the points we must be looking for the extreme values. So let us proceed one by one. First we look at the interior points of a region R. Since fxy is equal to x square plus y square, and partial derivative fx is your 2x, fy is equal to 2y, both are defined for all x and y, implies x equals to 0. So we must be looking at the points where the partial derivative both are simultaneously 0. So this gives you the point 0, 0. So while we apply the results on the interior part of the region, we get the point 0, 0. So but 0, 0 is not the interior point of region R. It is a boundary point. Here we have seen 0, 0, this is 0, 0, it is a boundary point. So there does not exist any. We represent it by this symbol. How we do? It means there exists, and if we write like this, it means there does not exist. So there does not exist any critical point or interior point in region R where extreme values can exist. So from here it is clear that in the given question there is no interior point of the given region R where there is any maximum minima for the given function fxy. Now we come to the boundary points. Of region R. So again, just I plot it again so that it becomes clear to you. This is 1, 0, 0, 2, OAB. This is y0, this is x0, this is y plus 2x is equal to 2, 0, 0. So now we want to find the boundary points of region. So what we do here, we divide the boundary into given parts. We divide into 3 lines, OA, A to B and B to O, because this is the whole boundary. And now instead of looking the whole boundary, we divide the boundary into 3 parts, line OA, line OB and line BO. So let us consider first line segment. Consider first the line segment OA, where the equation of line is y0. So just be in your mind that these are the things which are in your xy plane. So you have your line segment OA with y equals to 0, with y equals to 0. So now see how to find the boundary points on your line y equals to 0. Okay, so here fxy reduces to, since you have the equation of your line segment y equals to 0, of line segment OA as y equals to 0, so fxy reduces to your x square plus 0 square, that is your x square, and this is simply a function of gx, a function of single variable. So now what is the thing happening here? Okay, so what is happening here, now we are going to find the extreme values on your boundary points. So here the boundary is your y equals to 0 or line OA, and corresponding to this line OA, the surface fxy, that will be reduced to your gx, a function of single variable x. That is, on this line, the surface that is above it will now be a single, will be equivalent to your single curve y equals to x square. So now for the extreme values, they will exist at first at points, at interior points of line OA, or you can also say, since we are saying here that it is a function gx, and gx also you can write that x here varies from 0 to 1. Why? Because here you have considered line OA and you are looking at the function fxy that is above this line OA, so x will lie between 0 to 1. So here interior points of line OA, that is x belonging to interval 0 to 1 and the same thing. So these are the first thing where the extrema will exist, and secondly the boundary points or end points of line OA, that is points O and A. Yes, so these are the 2 points, one are the interior points. So whole situation now changes to the single variable function. So this is a different thing that we are doing here. While finding the extreme values at the boundary, you consider one of the line segments. You take the equation of that line segment, put it into the surface or the function whatever given. Surface reduces to a single variable function. Why? Because about that line y equals to 0, if you look at the surface, that will be appear like a curve, and that curve here is your gx or x square. Now we have to find the maximum minima on that curve gx. So here we can use the concept of single variable function, that extrema always lies at some of the interior points of the interior point of your interval. Interval is 0 to 1, or it may lie at the end point. Okay, so when it is done, first we are looking at the interior point. So let us first look at the interior point. So A1, you are looking at the interior points of OA, that is at points where g dash x is 0. So g dash x is basically your dy dx of your x square equals to 0 implies 2x equals to 0 implies x equals to 0. So this gives you x equals to 0, y equals to 0, since equation of the line OA was y equals to 0, so you get the point 0, 0, which is not interior point, of line segment OA, but its end point. So clearly we found from here that in the line segment OA or in the interval 0 to 1, there is no line in between 0 and 1 where the maxima or minima of the given function fxy that has been now reduced to gx that exists there. No maximum minima in the interior of line OA or interval 0 to 1. So, other left is endpoint. Other left is your endpoint. So, endpoints are 0, 0. So, here the value of function is 0 and other point is A, that is 1, 0. So, here the value comes out to be your 1. So, these are the two values we found for your extreme values where you have extrema. Now, we have considered now another line segment. Consider now line segment. So, we are done with the one line segment OA. Now, we consider another line segment, your OB. Line segment OB. Here it is your line segment OB. This is the line segment OB. And here the equation of line segment OB is your x equals to 0. X equals to 0. So, fxy reduces to about OB 0 by y square equals to hy. Again a function of single variable y. So, you get hy is equal to y square. That is again on this line interval the surface now appears like a curve y square on this line. So, here we have to find. So, extreme values of fxy about line OB or OB, since line here y lies between 0 and 2. So, extreme values of fxy about line OB lies at first interior points of line OB or interval 0 to 2 where h dash y is equal to 0, because you can see h dash is defined. So, I am simply writing h dash y equals to 0. So, this gives you y equals to 0, x equals to 0 was already there. So, implies point is 0, 0. And you can say it is not an interior point. So, no interior point. No interior point. So, you have no interior point of this line segment OB or interval 0 to 2 where you have any maximum minima on the given function fxy. So, for D2, since we write here the extreme values of xy about line lies at or can exist at this one interior point, and secondly at the endpoints O 0 0 that we have already computed, and other is your B, that is your 0 2, and here the value of function is your 4. The value of function is 4. So, this completes the extreme values for the line segment OB. So, we are left with only one segment. So, here also in the line segment OB we do not find any of the maximum minima inside the interior of the boundary or inside or interior point of line segment OB, just only we got the endpoint. And finally, here we are left with the last line segment. This is the line segment we are left with where we have to find the extreme value. That we will do in the next lecture. Okay, till then, thanks a lot.